So I've just come back from the ACT Administration and Civil Tribunal, commonly known as ACAT, where we had a matter to be discussed amongst the relevant parties. I won't go into any details. However, I thought I'd share a few tips with you if you find yourself needing to attend either a tribunal or court on a dog-related matter. Now, I've done quite a few of these, obviously spent a fair bit of time in court as a police officer. It can be a very daunting place. It's one of those places where you are on your own in the box and you may get some overzealous or very over-exuberant lawyers throwing questions at you. And if it's one of those things that you don't know what your material is, then you can find yourself in a bit of a fluster. So let's go through a few tips that I have in my time and let me share my experience with you. This is Von Sentinel. So like I said this morning, I've just come back from a couple of hours in the tribunal discussing a matter where I assessed a dog after an incident, and that I then put forward my report and my recommendations basically. So however the domestic animal services rangers and investigators take that into account is a matter for them. All I can do is assess what I see and put that on paper to then put forward a case for further action. So generally speaking, I don't see dogs that are friendly and well-mannered and the best behaved canine citizens. I tend to see dogs that have gotten themselves into trouble through various mechanisms, ranging from a simple, what is deemed simple, menacing, to quite serious attacks where people have required surgery, and also dogs that have lost their lives. So it's not something that we can trivialize. It's a very serious incident, or it can be. And often speaking, a lot of people, the majority I would say, have never spent a day in court or in front of a tribunal being asked questions about certain things. So from a dog training perspective or a dog training / assessment, behavioralist assessment perspective, there's a few things that you need to be aware of. I'm not going to tell you how to assess. That's a matter for yourselves and the training that you've gone through. However, make sure that you know your material and are very well versed in legislation, what you can and can't do. They will find a way to question you about your methodology and why you've done certain things. Now, the dog training industry is largely unregulated throughout the world, not only just in Australia. Anyone can call themselves a dog trainer and away they go. They can take people's money, but there is certainly a hell of a lot more to it. And if you are conducting these assessments, then you need to be prepared to be scrutinised by the law. It's one of those things that most people don't even think of until they're in front of a member, a magistrate, or a judge. And only then will they understand the role that we play as assessors in this system. You have to cover your ass. It goes without saying in everything that we do, if you don't cover your ass, you are going to find yourself in trouble. So if you are not qualified or you are not confident in your ability to do these assessments, either shadow someone who is and who is experienced in them, or don't do it. It is not worth the aggravation, I tell you. The more people I speak to who have gone through the court process or the tribunal process that wish that they'd never done it is staggering. Now, look, you don't know what you don't know. I understand that. However, I am going to educate you a little bit on my experience. There's probably people out there that share similar, if not more, experience than what I have in the courtroom. And if you have one of those people in your area, I urge you to reach out to them if you need help with anything. Even if you just want to be prepped, in order to go in and give evidence or whatever it is, speak out, go and talk to one of these suitably qualified people. Don't Google it. Don't get your information off the internet. It's not always correct, and it may only, in fact, be accurate for that particular area. So go and talk to someone who knows what they're talking about. So first things first, know what you're talking about. If you're guessing or you don't know what you're talking about, then you're going to find yourself in big trouble. And any defense lawyer worth their salt will pull you apart and your qualifications and make you look very silly, and you are potentially going to lose more than just the case. You are going to lose credibility, and that's the biggest thing that we have in this industry is credibility. If you don't have any, just don't step into the arena. It's not worth it. All right. People like to go and make a name for themselves and things like that, but I tell you, when the chips are down and you are on your own in that box answering questions, it's a very lonely place. And if you're not ready for it, then you're in big trouble. So first things first, I'm wearing my very basic, what I would consider suitable attire for attending a tribunal or court. The reason why I am only wearing a sports jacket and a shirt is because I'm still injured and I can't get anything over this damn cast. So I have to dress up the best that I can. I'm not talking about wearing a 3-piece suit or a tuxedo, but be presentable, especially if you are the person going in there who is the expert. Be presentable. The last thing that you want is to walk in there looking all disheveled, or you haven't shaved in 6 months or whatever it is. And if you are seen to not being able to look after yourself, then what chance do you have looking after someone else's animal or dog? So be presentable. That's the very first thing you can do. Rule number 1, always look good. Rule number 2, always know where you are. Rule number 3, if you don't know where you are, refer to rule number 1. All right? Very, very basic principle and guideline. Take meticulous notes is the second thing that I will say. This goes for both sides of the equation. So if you are assessing a dog after an incident, or whether you own the dog and it's been involved in an incident, or you are a victim or a witness, take meticulous notes. Time of day, what you saw, who was there, everything that you can possibly think of. From a dog assessing perspective, this is where a lot of people fall down. They don't take enough notes, and then they have to rely on memory later on, and it doesn't always, it's not always there when you need it. We all get mental blocks and things like that, and I guarantee you when they're firing questions at you and you start getting a little bit flustered, you're going to forget a whole bunch of stuff, all right? Even though that you may know what you're talking about, take meticulous notes. That way you can refer to them, all right? Now, the biggest thing, don't lie. Don't speculate. You are going to walk into this tribunal or court. They are going to get you to swear on the Bible or give you an affirmation, or you're going to give an affirmation to say that you're going to tell the truth, all right? Really quite simple. Don't make shit up. If you don't know, tell them you don't know. Look, I'm not sure. I don't recall. If that's something that you can research later on, you go, you know what? I don't know at this point in time, but I will go away and I will find out for you and I will let you know. If it's the truth, it's the truth, right? They don't care whether you're lying or not. They will fix you into a story. And if you cannot remember what story you told, then you're going to bind yourself up and find yourself in a lot of trouble. And again, speaks to your credibility. You're not going to have any. All right. So go in there, tell them what your experience is. Don't overinflate it. Don't go in there thinking that, or trying to tell them that you're the world's leading foremost expert in canine behavior. All right. Those people get themselves into trouble really, really quickly. I go in there, I give my affirmation, and I sit down and I go, right, this is what I saw. This is what I assessed. This is why I assessed it. This is what happened. This is my recommendations for what I would do if this was my dog. Don't take it personally, all right? It's not something that you need to get in there and start pointing and carrying on. Just remain calm, okay? If you've done your job in the beginning, then all this will just fall into place. You can have your statement in front of you, and in most cases, you can refer to it, no problem at all. Just say, look, you know what? I don't recall off the top of my head. I'm just going to refer to my notes. And then you can go through, read your notes and jog your memory and go, oh yeah, that's right. Now I remember. And off you go. All right. So the big thing is take meticulous notes. Everything that you do associated with that incident, take with you on the day. They're already going to have a copy of it because the government solicitor or whoever has gotten in contact with you would already have your statement. So if you're a victim, they would have your victim statement. All right. If you are the expert dog behavior trainer and assessor, they will already have your report with them. So they already understand and know what the facts of the case are about. You just go in there. They may have further questions about why you did something particular or why you didn't do something. All right. Don't take things personally. The more you get hot under the collar and flustered, the more they're going to keep digging and you're going to make yourself look foolish. If you find yourself in a position where you're starting to get a little bit angry, you just need to calm the fuck down. All right. Breathe. All right. Don't get flustered. If you do get flustered, take the time to settle. Grab a drink.